Hey, book friends. Welcome back to Books I Read. I'm Sheila, and I'm so glad you're here. We're going to do some bookish things here. Obviously, it's a book channel. We are doing Stephen King's The Outsider buddy read. Are you ready for this buddy read for October? Of course you are. I hope you got your physical copy if you wanted one. I wanted one. As you can see, I've already started to tab it. So, we are going to do section by section. That's how I'm going to make the videos because I think we'll get more out of it that way. And most of our conversation obviously is going to be in the comments below because I did not make a Goodreads group. Not at this time because I don't know how many are participating. So we're going to just do it that way. So there you go. And each video, as you can tell or as you can see, is going to be titled as such. So you'll know where we are in the book or what section you should have read by now. Before you go into the video, you'll see the section. You'll be like, oh, I haven't read that section. So you know not to open that video because then you're going to spoil yourself and you're going to be like, well, I haven't read it. Thanks a lot for spoiling it. So you don't get spoilers you already know. See how that works? Of course you do. All right. So this first section we are talking about is the arrest July 14th. What are we talking about? What is happening? Well, we have some interviews going on between Detective Anderson and witnesses. And these witnesses all claim that they saw Terry and her Coach T, you know, interact with this boy, Frank Peterson. I think the boy's name is Frank Peterson, right?
I think you're absolutely right.
Okay, thanks. Oh, by the way, my husband is reading this book with me. We are reading it together so that we can share it with you. But he is just going to share when I say something and it sparks something for him. Okay? I just figured that would work best, and so did he. So that's how we're going to do this. All right, so anyway, so this detective is, you know, questioning all these witnesses, and they're saying, yes, we saw Terry there. Yes, we saw Terry interact with this boy. This boy has been horribly, awful, horrendous, and sodomized, and it's terrible, and they're blaming it on his coach because Terry coaches Little League, right? The Little League. My husband's right over here so you can hear him. And anyway, so they decide, these detectives, and Ralph is a good friend of Terry because his son was on the Little League team. So Ralph is like, oh yeah, you guys, you detectives, go in there and arrest him at this ball game in front of everyone.
Now, mind you, in the storyline, the baseball game, it's a small town.
Right,
They've got like, you know, a couple thousand people in town or whatever.
Right.
And there's, you know, most of them are at this baseball game.
Right, there's like 1,600 people.
So everybody in the town that is anybody is there.
Right, and Coach T and or Terry, he's really popular in this town. He was like something of the year, Little League Father of the Year or something like that. He was like Coach of the Year or something like that. So anyway, they arrest him and they put him like on this display and they put his hands out in front of him and they're arresting him. And Terry is just like, what the hell is going on? And they catch that photo. Now, what I noticed when I was going through, and I was telling my husband when I was going through, because I've highlighted the interviews, and when I was going through, now June Morris says that she you know, when Detective Anderson says, you know, which one,
they put up a lineup.
Like a lineup of photos on the table, and June Morris picks, I think, number 4. And then when he gets to, I don't think it's Stan Holt. I forget who it is now. It is, okay, June Morris, she says number 4. And the other person, I forget who it is. But the other guy or the other witness that they question, like I said, I can't remember. Maybe you guys can remember. But he picks number 2. So was it?
Well, like I said, it's like
the same.
They don't really say whether they mix the pictures up.
Right, exactly.
They just say, oh, here are some pictures.
Now, the further we go through this arrest, they get Terry back, Terry Matlin. They get him back to the station. And, of course, he has told his wife, Marcy, hey, Marcy, call Howie, his attorney. Call him. I need his help. All right? So they get him back, and, of course, he's not saying anything. Because he's like, I'm stupid, but I ain't that stupid. But eventually, we find out that Terry was in Cap City. He has an alibi. And Ralph's like, yeah, how convenient. Now, Ralph, I think, is what, one of the detectives or something?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. You guys tell me, because I can't remember everything or all the details. I mean, unless I look back at all the book, But anyway, so Terry says he was in Cap City, so there's no way that he could have possibly done this. But yet, they have fingerprints, like 7.
Well, yeah, they've got fingerprints, they've got DNA evidence, they've got...
That says that he was there.
And they've got all these witnesses that
say he was
physically say, oh, they got one guy in the he said that, he goes, oh yeah, I walked up to him and talked to him.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I forgot who that was.
He like walked up to him and talked to him. He's like,
Well, and then you got the lady Rainwater in the cab.
Right. So they got all these people that physically say they saw him.
Exactly. So,
and it's like, wait a minute.
Now, Terry does say in this section, I think he tells Howie, or he tells the detective, Ralph, I think it's Ralph, but he tells them, he's like, I left the Little League team with my other 2 coaches.
Right.
He's like, I wasn't even in town. And then when his lawyer does come in, his lawyer is like, all right, so what has Terry said? And they're like, well, he hasn't said anything. He's like, no, dumbass, basically, dumbass. I'm not talking about tonight. He's like, I'm talking about in the initial interview. And Anderson, I'm pretty sure it's Anderson, he says, well, there was no initial.
Well, we didn't interview him.
Yeah, we never get. He's like, what are you talking about? You never gave him a chance to speak for himself? He's like, you guys are dumb. You guys are really dumb.
Well, it's like, okay, if even in the real world, not even a book, if they think you've done something,
right,
they come up and they go, hey, can you come to the police station? We want to ask you some questions, okay?
Right.
Most people are like, yeah, okay, fine. Well, their excuse in the book was, he said, well, it's a small town, and we don't want to give time for word to get around you, and you leave. Now, it's like, wait a minute, okay, you got a man who is, popular, he has his life in the town, he has a job, he has friends, he has all this stuff, and it's like, wait a minute,
what the hell?
You're not gonna, you're not gonna give him the same, whatever. Where's he gonna go?
Right.
Even if people did, talk, what's he gonna do? He's gonna go like, what the heck are you talking about?
Right. Well, and then the search warrant that they got, like, so quick from Judge Carter.
Right.
They got that search warrant so fast for his house. Even Marcy, Terry's wife, is
like... And it didn't have any, there weren't any parameters. It was like, take what you want kind of thing.
It was take what you want or whatever. There was not a list. And Marcy wasn't very obviously happy about that. She was so...
Oh, yeah, she was pissed. She was like, what the heck is this, like Korea?
Well, it's just...
really?
Even in the book, obviously you guys have read this section, but if you haven't, before watching this, you really should. Either that or watch this and then go read it again and come back. But she was so mean to that detective lady that's pregnant.
I kind of felt bad for the pregnant.
I know, I feel bad kind of for the pregnant detective, but it's like, but can you imagine what's going on? But like my husband said, though, they have the blood test is what's really getting Terry, because they have AB positive and O positive, right. And they asked Terry what is his blood type, and he's AB positive.
Well, that's because they said it's a rare blood type.
Right, it's a rare blood type.
3% of the people in the world actually have that particular blood type.
Exactly, and then I think Samuel, which is the attorney in the county or whatever, he's there. I don't think he's a detective. I think he's the attorney for the county.
He's the prosecuting attorney.
Yeah, he's the prosecuting attorney. That's what I want to say. And he even looks at Terry and he's like, do you have like a twin brother or something?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So, because they have so much against him, but yet...
So they say, but they've never shown it. They haven't shown anything to back up their claims yet.
Right, and that's what I was going to say. But yet Terry has a pretty good alibi, too, because he was with these people. What's up, Ben?
Do you want to try the tea?
Sure, I will try this tea. Benjamin makes chocolate mint. He grows chocolate mint, and then he made it. So I'm going to try his chocolate mint tea. Oh, that's good. That tastes very similar to the Serenity tea that I was drinking from Tea Forte. Very, very similar. I mean, you can't. I almost feel like Benjamin's chocolate mint that was homegrown, you know, that he grew himself. I feel like it almost tastes cleaner or more smooth. I don't know. It just tastes really good.
I just stick with my basic old Lipton.
I would have to say for me, seriously, I love Tea Forte. You guys know this, but I actually like Ben's chocolate mint tea better than that one. So there you go. So get you some chocolate mint. All right. So anyway, how do we want to conclude on this? So at the very last sentence of this section, it says, "It's going to be all right, Gold," which is Terry's attorney says. And that was what Terry hung on to. But of course, it wasn't.
He knew it wasn't going to be.
Yeah, it's not going to be okay.
Well, that's because him and his wife both knew that even after everything was done, even if they found him not guilty, his life is never going to go back.
Right. Terry's life is never going to be the same.
It's never going to go back to what it was before.
No, it's impossible. So now we are just sitting here now. Okay, so we have all these witnesses now, and we have Terry, and now I believe he's waiting for his arraignment now up for Monday because they have the blood and the Subaru or whatever.
See, it almost makes me think like someone wanted to destroy his life.
Well, yeah, me too. Why? And then who wants to destroy Terry's life so bad if he didn't do this? And why? Why? I mean, what's the catch? What are they in it? And we were just briefly talking about this section. My husband was talking about it with Benjamin, and then I had jumped in, and Benjamin hasn't read it yet. And Benjamin's like, I already think it's one of the detectives. See, and I thought it was strange that Judge Carter already got a search warrant that fast. I was like, is the judge in on it?
Well, you would think a judge is going to ask, well, what kind of evidence do you have to prove that this guy's involved?
Right, exactly. And then we're just like, okay, so we're curious. Is it one of the detectives or more than one detective in on it? Or is it the two assistant coaches that Terry has? So we're going to have to read further now. So our next video or our next section we are going to read is going to be Sorry, July 14th to July 15th. So stay tuned for that video. To be continued. So we will see you then. Bye.